All right, y'all, let's break down one of my favorite topics, money. What is this thing that we all call money? Money. What is it? Well, money is not paper, as we all know. Money is spirit, okay? What and how do we, or what blocks, especially from a Judeo-Christian perspective, and especially from the level of awareness where most of us are at. In other words, most people, myself included, using my life as an example of what I've had to go through to learn the laws of money. Now, this is part of our wealth creation. Guilt and shame are energy drains. Guilt and shame are energy drains. Guilt and shame are money blocks. Fear, doubt, unbelief, anxiety. The way that the universe, the world is set up, especially from a spiritual or religious perspective, especially from relationships, the way that we learn how to interact with people, we've been taught as a society, in school, psychology, to feel. So when we do something, we take ownership, we take responsibility, we take accountability. That's good. But we were never taught the number one key for success. The number one key that all the wealthy understand. That's why most wealthy people are ruthless. When we look at it, ruthless. They lack what we call empathy and sympathy. They really have the ability to not allow things to affect them. They don't have what we call emotions. And it's interesting, especially, again, with my experience, 60 plus years of doing this, all the clients and stuff I've talked to and worked with in the area of understanding this thing that we all call money, it is a mental disposition. We all know that it's a state of mind, it's not a physical thing. It's a spirit. But it's interesting that when you look at the definition, especially from a biblical perspective, of the word mammon, well, we talk about you can't serve two masters. So the reason that most people, especially from a church perspective, struggle in the area of finances and financial success is because we unknowingly resist it through shame and fear, which are feelings. These feelings that we have create a field around us that drains us of our energy because it's toxic. And so money is attracted to wholeness. Money is attracted to singularity. Money is attracted to consciousness. Number one, money is the result of alignment. Wholeness. So if you're fragmented, if you are psychologically departmentalized, if you're suffering from dissociative identity disorder or bipolar disorder, mental illnesses, you give off a feeling that you are unworthy because you don't trust yourself. So then the universe mirrors back to you what you feel about yourself. And other people don't buy from you. They don't trust you because you don't trust you because you haven't forgiven you. Number one key to success, forgiveness. You got to forgive yourself. All wealthy people have a very short memory. When they make a mistake, when they make a problem, they don't continue to beat themselves up the way poor people do. They don't carry around this feeling of unworthiness. They identify with singularity, with wholeness. May not be perfect, but I am forgiven. The ability to continually and really, and I remember this was tough for me because I wore my pain and my problems as a badge. I was proud to own all my dysfunction Because I thought by taking responsibility for my flaws and my mistakes, that was some kind of a way made me moral. I self-identify my morality with my sins. And I find and I see that in the church and in relationships and in the culture. We beat ourselves up because we ain't perfect. That keeps you broke. The fact that you don't heal yourself. The fact that you don't totally let go and release and operate from a place of confidence, and operate from a place of certainty, and operate from a place of clarity. That's money. Money is crystal clear clarity of source and self. Source inside the self is money. Since most people don't believe that they are the vibrational equivalent of source, they beat themselves up. Money is repelled by low vibration. Money is repelled. So the inability to bring about alignment through understanding forgiveness, true, authentic forgiveness, the ability to see yourself as whole, not needing to be rescued, not needing therapo or therapy, being able and in a place to give instead of always being in a place to receive. The ideal that you are broken, the ideal that you need to be fixed, the ideal that you need to be saved keeps you broke because you're always in a state of wanting. You're never in a state of having. You're never in a place where you're able to give. And having done all, give. Whatever degree that you give, that same degree is going to be given back to you. So until you get into a place where you see yourself as a supplier, as source. See, most of us, we're wanting. Most of us are not having. Most people are not in a state. They're not in the mental disposition where they have everything that they need for life and godliness. They're still searching, asking, seeking, knocking. That's all great. That just keeps you broke though. So we've got to get to a place where we understand that I don't need, I already have. See, once you get to that level, then what you do is you stop trying to manufacture and you start to command. Money wants to be commanded. You have to command. You have to stop manufacturing. Stop manifesting. Start commanding. Do what Jesus did. We have to get to a place. Again, we're talking about money. Even the word mammon. Do a deep dive on the word mammon. You're going to find that at the base, at the core, the word mammon means trust. Things you put your trust in. The word mammon, not a bad term. It means wealth that you trust. If you go a little bit further, you got the letters M-H-N or M-N-H, which means to number. Come on, preacher. Y'all know I do numbers. So money and mammon means to know your numbers. So my clarity comes from the fact that I know my numbers. So that's all I do every day. I do know your numbers reports. So when you get to a space where you know your numbers, now remember, challenge me on this. Look it up for yourself. Just don't believe me. That's the mistake that a lot of people make. Don't believe me. Do a deep dive into the word mammon. Look for it, research it yourself. Study to show yourself approved. What's up, Sister Holly? How you doing, my sister? And so the ability for us to delve deep, and we see that the word mammon at the base and at the core is really not a bad word. It means to number. It means to be firm. It means to be fixed. It means to put trust because you over and understand clarity. That gives you certainty. Then that gives you confidence. That's money. Money is a state of mind. Money is a spirit. A spirit is a ruling disposition that's based upon crystal clear clarity of source and crystal clear clarity of self. That's money. Confidence, wholeness, not broke, and not needing to be repaired, not needing to be rescued, not being broken and poor critter and crying and, oh, help me, somebody please help me. That's why really what's going on right now with all of this craziness in the world is really the blessing in disguise, because it's forcing so-called Christians. Who's your daddy? Who's your source? Is it the government? Or is it some program? Or is it God? Who do you really put your faith, your trust? That's what the Bible means when it says you can't serve two masters. A lot of Christians are being exposed right now, Sister Holly. A lot of Christians, Sister Holly, are getting exposed because they daddy cut off that check. Now, I ain't for it. I ain't against it. I ain't saying it's right. I ain't saying it's wrong. All I'm simply expressing, exposing, expanding to you today, where do we go from here? What do we do next? Especially in the melanated culture. Because them good old boys are trying to make America great again. You need to you understand what that means. If you understand what that means, Negro, you might want to wake up, because they ain't talking about you. But that shouldn't affect you. They were never talking about you. This was never a part. You was never a part of their program, whoever they are. Let me be crystal clear. Some of y'all confused. You shouldn't be, but you are. And so the inability to understand that money is a mental disposition that's based upon confidence. That confidence comes from certainty. That certainty comes from clarity. That clarity of self and clarity of the identity of the self. So how do you self-identify? What terms do you tell yourself in your own head? Are you broke? Are you poor critter? Do you need to be rescued? Do you need help? You can't get up, you can't take care of yourselves, your own self. Then yeah, you broke, bro. Because it's done unto you as you believe. How do you self-identify? What does the scripture say about your identity? The one that I read says, I'm made in the image and likeness of source. That's what it says. I read it. We're made in the image, so that's my reflection. I'm a joint heir. I'm a royal priest. It's in there. That's what it says, Sister Holly. It says that whatever Yahushua or HaMashiach got, I got access. So 2 Peter tells us, I think it's 15, by all of these great promises, we have a bunch of stuff. So we already have everything that we need for life and godliness. It even tells us, why worry about what you shall eat, what you shall drink? Do you not know? So all of this, we already know all of this stuff. So what is it that's preventing us? We got a drain. It's like a balloon. If I got a balloon, I'm blowing air in it. But I got a hole in my balloon. Now, I don't know I got a hole in my balloon. But I'm blowing air into the balloon. But air keeps coming out. Bam. Our energy, our quote-unquote mental disposition has a hole in it. The hole is flawed thinking. The hole is erroneous. The whole is Hosea 4:6, a lack of knowledge. So because there is a lack of knowledge, a lack of knowing, what is it that we lack? Well, we lack our source. Okay, what is our source? God, the universe, Jesus, Yahushua the HaMashiach, whatever label. But remember, labels are limits. Don't limit God. Don't limit source. Don't limit the pleroma. Don't limit the pleru. Don't limit the monad. Don't limit. See, you're going to limit because you're going to put a label based upon your religion. You're going to label the monad. You know what's going on? Dr. Khalif, what's up, my brother? My brother, Sister Holly, what's going on? Now, let me make sure we understand. So, Dr. Khalif, have you ever heard a preacher preach and do a sermon on Seth? Have you heard a preacher preach and do a sermon on Lilith? Have you heard any preacher do traditional melanated preacher preach on the Gnostic Gospels, on the Nag Hammadi text, on the Dead Sea Scrolls, on the book of Enoch, on the book of Jubilee, on the book of Giants? Dr. Khalif, you're a learned man. Have you ever did a message? Where my boy Michael Fields at? Where my boy Brother Mwanga? Y'all ever been to a church and been to a service where the reverend, the doctor, the bishop got up there and preached on what existed before Constantine, before 1611, before the Council of Nicaea? So we are in this world. Jesus told us. Now we know that ain't his name. But let's just go with it, Dr. Khalif. No, we ain't here to argue. We ain't here to debate. We're here to educate. Right, my brother? Since we're here to educate, Dr. Khalif, we know this, bruh. We don't have to. We already done the research, homie. So we already know. So we got clarity. We got crystal clear clarity that we're in this world, but we're not of this world. We are operating in a whole different belief system, totally different from this world system. That's why Negroes are broke. We using the world system. We don't understand. We're in this world, but we're not of this world. That's what Jesus, Yahushua the HaMashiach, was trying to say. He came preaching the kingdom principles. I can't find nowhere where he came preaching what we teaching. He was against the scribes and the Pharisees of his day. Any of y'all Negroes read Matthew 23? I read it. Dr. Khalif, I know you read it. There's 8 woes in there. Whoa. Let me hold up, bro. Whoa. 8 times in there. It's in there, Sister Holly. It's in there. 8 times. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees. He says, woe to you, lawyers. Why? They took away the key of knowledge. What is the key of knowledge? Etymology. The under, over, and understanding of words. So now we are introducing a new modern day Tower of Babel. What is the new modern day Tower of Babel? Large language models. Now Negroes are really toast. So now you're not getting the definition of your words from another man. You getting your definition of your words from a computer. Oh, Negro, you thought you was toast. Oh, it's getting ready to get dark, Dr. Khalif. The haves and the have-nots. Them good old boys. Dr. Khalif, you down in Mississippi, right? Dr. Khalif, you down in Mississippi, homie? I know you know about them good old boys, bro. Now I'm down here in Texas. We got some good old boys down here in Texas too, Dr. Khalif. They trying to make America great again. Now, if us melanated folk don't wake up and come together in the spirit, regardless of our location, we should not be operating according to the God of this world system. We are in this system, Dr. Khalif, but we ain't of it. We're in this system, Mr. Holly, but we're not of it. What does that mean? That means same thing that Yahushua said. You got to cast your net over to the right side. We need to understand the esoteric meanings of Christ. I am against teaching the exoteric meaning, but I am really interested in the esoteric, inside. Jesus himself said, anybody who does not believe that I came inside the body, this Christ lunar germ seed oil that comes up from the kundalini and the kunda buffer or the spinal or the spine or the coccyx bone, crosses Golgotha, the place of the skull, where your big cranium sits on your spiritual antenna. Negro, you need to become activated. You need to activate the crown chakra. You need to connect to the divine. You need to receive a spiritual download so that way you can have awareness and you can see the field. And guess what? You won't fall for all of these smoke and mirrors. So when the reverend, doctor, and the bishop get up there and say whatever they got to say, you good. Because you over and understand, greater is he that's in me. Yes, we have this treasure hidden in earthen vessels. Christ in you. What does it mean though? So if you are not able to define, you won't be able to get in line with the divine. So therefore you won't shine. So my brothers and my sisters, what does that mean though in English? Stop asking and waiting for permission to be wealthy. Stop asking and waiting for permission to be healthy. What does that mean? Why are we waiting? Especially as black folks. We're waiting for our blessing. We're waiting for Jesus to do it. When he said it's finished, you have been given everything that you need for knowledge. Everything that you need for life and godliness. Where is it at? It's inside of your ability to over and understand. We are operating on a different system. We are operating on a system of confidence. But where does that confidence come from? I mean assurance. I mean a mental disposition that said, I wish a mother, that disposition. What happened to that old school, I wish a Negro would? Where them folk at? We got all of these weak, jelly-back, feminized males. Dr. Khalif, what's going on, bro? We got all these low vibrational brothers carrying purses and wearing skirts. Where the real Negroes at? What is going on? Now, no disrespect to my young brothers out there. They may not have been, properly educated. So we need people like Dr. Mwanga, my boy Dr. Khalif, Michael Fields, show these youngsters how we do, how we roll. You need to walk up in that like you own it. But your connection, your authority comes from somewhere. Where did Jesus get his authority? When Jesus spoke, when Yahushua the HaMashiach spoke, he spoke as one having authority. Do you speak like you know what you're talking about? When you speak, you should speak as one having authority. But where did he get his authority from? He got it from his identity. He said, when you see me, you've seen the Father. Can you say that? Come on, bro. You should be able to say that too. You should be able to walk in the singularity. You should be able to be walking in your power. Because your power comes from your identity. How you self-identify. We got niggas over here walking around. They can't even figure out their gender. That's what we doing. Are you serious? Is that what we're doing? So people are confused, Dr. Khalif. They don't know how to self-identify. They have no self-concept. They have no identity. They don't know whose they are. Go and do the research on the etymology of the word mammon. At the base, at the core, you'll see 3 letters. Remember, they took out all the vowels. In the ancient text, that's the letter M, that's the letter N, that's the letter H. And in that ancient text, you will see to number. You will see to fix. You will see to be firm. You will see to trust. That's what money is. Money is a mental disposition that says you can take it out of my cold, dead hands. Run up in my house if you want to, dog. I got something for you, homie. I mean, not you personally. People you know. See, we too soft, man. The violent take it. And they take it by force. In the Old Testament, you know what it says? Ruthless men retain wealth. You can't be weak and jelly back. Oh, I don't know, brother. Praise him. I'm just holding on, waiting for. No, I don't think so, dog. That dog don't hunt. As we said out here in Texas. You need a hunting dog. In conclusion, again, I don't know what y'all doing. I got my World Creation Mastermind group. I'm connected with folk who know and understand. Greater is he that's in me than he that's in the world. We ain't asking. We walking in power. We walking in abundance. We walking in health. We walking in wealth. We walking in wisdom. We walking into a great relationship. We ain't manifesting nothing because we already got it. We command it. We calling those things that are not as though they were. Jesus didn't walk around doing no techniques. Now, I'm guilty of it too. I've done a bunch of manifesting techniques. I got a whole school. I got classes. Been there, done that too, dog. So I ain't talking down. I'm talking to. I done the same thing. And it works. It just takes a lot of energy. And it takes a lot of time. But Yahushua the Hamashiach, he got a different system. He called those things that are not as though they were. Number one is alignment. After alignment comes gratitude. Attitude of gratitude, thanksgiving. You should give thanks before. Don't wait till the battle is over. Shout now. We all heard it. We all with the church. So what does that mean though? That means don't believe the lie. So they telling you a narrative right now. What is the narrative? Oh, the sky's falling. Maybe. What about the end? Don't affect me. So I don't care what they're doing. You keep that crazy over there for me. As for me in my house, booyah. So it's a disposition. But it got to be based on something. So I'm giving thanks. And I'm grateful. What am I giving thanks for? What am I grateful for? Clarity of source and self. That clarity gives me certainty. I'm certain. That certainty gives me confidence. Confidence. The ability to stand. And having done all, stand. I don't care what's going on in the world, bro. I don't care what they doing. I don't care if they trying to make America great. Negro, the spirit realm is already great. We can't make it great again. It ain't lost its greatness. Walk in your power. Walk in your authority. Walk in your identity based upon the numbers that God gave you. So after you get crystal clear alignment, after you give thanks and have an attitude of gratitude, finally, my brothers, finally, my sisters, you get to rest. Now, rest is like a farmer. My wife likes to grow stuff. I call her Farmer D. So I noticed when she put a seed in the ground, Dr. Khalif. Dr. Khalif, I know you grow a lot of stuff too, my brother. Out there, your little compound you got out there, homie. I gotta come out there and check you out, dog. See what you got going on down there in the Delta. You know, Dr. Mwanga down there. So, Dr. Khalif, when you put a seed in the ground, bro, do you pull it up every other week to see how it's growing? Do you pull it up after you plant the seed in the ground to check and see if it's growing? Man, I ain't no farmer. Right? Even I know that. So let me get this right. You plant a seed. Not you personally. People you know. What's going on, Sister Sheena Jones? So if you plant a seed, Sister Sheena, do you go out there every week and pull it up out the ground to check and see if it's growing? If you do, it ain't gonna grow. Rest. Rest means once you put your order in, just like going to a restaurant. You go to a high-end restaurant, you tell the waiter, man, give me that medium, give me that ribeye steak, medium well or medium rare, whatever. I want loaded mashed potatoes and some green beans. Then what do? You start checking your phone, you talk to your family and friends, you start chilling. You don't really start worrying. You don't have no anxiety. You ain't calling nobody saying, hey man, I'm over at this restaurant I put in an order for some steaks, and they ain't here yet. So what do? You chill. You got confidence that the steak is being prepared according to your liking. So while you are waiting, you ain't scared. You have no anxiety. You ain't wondering. You ain't calling no reverend, no doctor, no bishop. Telling them, hey dog, pray for me that my steak, my loaded mashed potatoes, and my green beans arrive. You don't do that. How come? You have faith. You have certainty. You have confidence in the system or in the fact that that high-end restaurant that you went to is going to do what it says it's going to do. That's money. Money is confidence that God, Source, the Pleroma, Sophia, the Monad, the Big G, Yahushua the HaMashiach, whatever label, whatever term, whatever limit that you want to place on it, higher universe, thinking stuff, whatever. Put your faith, put your trust in God, Source, and in self. Because faith without works is dead. So you got to do something too. What do you got to do? Rest. How do you rest? Focus and give thanks and give gratitude to the fact that you're able to go to a high-end restaurant, because some folk ain't got the money to go. So you give thanks for what you got, for not what you're going to get. You give thanks before it gets there. You give thanks before. You give thanks before. You give thanks before. You give thanks before. You don't wait till the battle is over. You shout now. You give thanks. And lastly, you don't chase it. You command it. Brothers and sisters, check out the Master Teacher 33 Wealth Creation Mastermind Group, where I'm teaching the principles of wealth creation. I made a lot of mistakes, but the first thing I did, Dr. Khalif, is I operate in radical forgiveness. Radical. If I make a mistake, I don't walk around here beating myself up, calling no reverend doctor bishop to pray for me. I forgive myself. Why? Greatest thing that's in me than he that's in the world. Forgive yourself. Love yourself. Walk in confidence. Walk in faith. Walk in alignment with your God-given assignment. The word mammon means to know your numbers. Know how you've been established. Establish clarity of yourself, of source, clarity of self, and clarity of source, my brothers. Ah, yeah. Clarity. That gives you certainty. Certainty gives you confidence. That confidence, that's money. Man, let me get off this treadmill off this treadmill before I pass out. I love y'all. Ain't nothing y'all can do about it. Holla at your boy.